Swansea only had 2 shots on target, and for 75 minutes you did great, didn't you?
Yeah, you look back at the game. I think the biggest disappointment really for us, and we did really well. Out of possession was in possession. It was just that changeover of play, which we've done much better lately. We did it first half. We had created 2 or 3 great opportunities on the break where we got the first pass off and we got runners forward. Second half, we didn't. There was opportunities to do it and we didn't. And maybe that's a little bit of disappointment. But having said that, the players worked so hard and they gave everything. And we were really, really disappointed after the game that we never got anything out of it.
Gareth McCauley, we've been talking up all season, and you talked to him up after the game as well, quite rightly. But has he been affected by it? Does he hung his head at all?
No, they came in yesterday. We brought them straight up after the game. They came to the training ground. We fed them. They went in the pool. They did a recovery last night rather than wait for this morning, so they could have a day with their family. So they were in here at 6:30 last night, having food and doing a recovery. A couple of them have been in this morning again because they've got little knocks and strains. But now Gareth will understand what mistake it was, and it was down to him, and accept it and move on. He's been fantastic for us, and certainly not going to get no criticism from me.
The other man who did great is Alan Nyam. He made 10 tackles in the game, which is 4 more than anybody else in the Premier League managed.
Yeah, no, Alan's been fantastic for us, and we've played him really out of position at left back. He prefers to play at right back, but he's done fantastic, and we just got to make sure now we're ready for Swansea. Swansea's a massive game for us on Wednesday night, and we've got to make sure that all the players are up for it. They've just had a great victory. I've just watched it on the tape now. Smashing performance against Sunderland, so it's going to be tough for us.
Yeah, I mean, is it about how you react to that defeat now? Because you've been on such a good run.
It's always the next game. It's always the next game, and like I say, that's most probably one of the biggest things that you learn in the Premiership. You are going to get times when things go for you and things don't go for you, and disappointments, and you've got to make sure that you stay level, and the players I'm sure will be that, and they'll understand it as well.
Been a cracking start to the season. I mean, 20 points already. You're still 4 games away from half time.
No, and the games. Man City at home, the scoreline I think flattered them a little bit, but apart from that, the games against the bigger clubs, we've done really well. And that on Sunday, you just like I say, you couldn't fault what the players did in lots of respects.
Unchanged again for your 4th game on the trot. What does that tell us about where you are?
They deserve to be, the players and the team deserve to be unchanged because they've played so well, and we're desperate to get 1 or 2 of them in the team, Chadley especially. But people have played well, and if they play well, then they deserve to have their place. There are occasions where you will leave people out after you've won games, but at the moment this group has worked hard.
You've been linked with James McCarthy. I think you were in the summer again.
Yeah.
Is that a player you're keen to look at?
I think what's going to happen now, Rob, I think we're going to be linked with loads of people, and other clubs are going to be linked with other loads of people, and you just, as I've said all along, you do your business. I will always do my business with other clubs first, and then hopefully keep it away from you lot until it happens.
And I'll always ask you, and you always
say,
I'm sorry,
listen,
I know it's not easy.
I know.
What do you make of Swansea? They've had a tough time, but that was a massive win for them on Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've got some good players. Like Britton. I think Britton is a good player for him. Obviously Sigurdsson, his assists and goals have been fantastic ever since he went there from Tottenham a few years ago. He's proven to be a top Premier League player. I've always liked Llorente. He's got a couple of goals the other night, and it's taken him a while to settle down, but that happens. But they've got a lot of experience, a lot of Premier League experience in the group, and the result would have buoyed them without a question of a doubt.
What about Bob Bradley? I mean,
I met Bob once when I was in Scandinavia, and had a quick chat with him, and he seems a very level-headed type of person who understands the game. He's managed obviously in America and abroad as well, so it's a great experience for him. I'm sure he'll be relishing the challenge. But he came over as a very grounded chap who, massively in love with his football. He was really, really, bubbly and enthusiastic about the game and about what he was doing, which was, and is refreshing.
The reality of the Premier League and how difficult it is, though, is there for him and everybody else to see.
Well, he's got good people. Alan Curtis has been there, forever at Swansea, and he's got great experience. He's brought Paul Williams in. Paul's played in the Premiership, understands it. He's a good lad, Paul. I had Paul at Stoke as a player. So that he's got good experience around him now, Rob, and he'll have people who I'm sure will point him in the right direction.
You know the area so well, but I just wonder how they'll be feeling after some really successful years in the Premier League, and now a lot of changes, as ever, seems to happen at that football club, and a bit of a battle.
There's never a give me in the Premiership for any club outside maybe the top 6 clubs, and that includes every club outside of it, and I mean that. So you'll have your ups and downs in a season. The bottom line, and it'll always be the bottom line, is getting to those 40 points as quick as you can. And Swansea is still in a good position to do that. So we'll be taking nothing for granted on Wednesday night.
Team news, anybody struggling from...
Well, it's too early yet, Rob. Like I say, tomorrow we'll assess them. It was more of a case of picking them up after the game, after the disappointment. And then, we'll have a look at them tomorrow.
But Morrison and McCauley both came through okay because they were doubts before the game.
Yeah, they were fine.
Good man, thank you.